rose to the green brows that topped his emerald nose. His beard was glossy, like unripened corn. His eyes shot sparklets like the polar morn, but like in hue unto that deep sea green, wherewith must shine those gems of ray serene, the dark unfathomed caves of ocean bare. Green was his raiment, green his monstrous mare. He rode unarmed, uncorsleted, unshielded, except that in his huge right hand he wielded a frightful battle-axe, with blade as green as coppery rust, but the long edge shone keen. Such was the stranger, and he turned his head from one side to the other, and then said, with gentle voice, most like a summer breeze that rustles through the leaves of the green trees, "So this is Arthur's court! My noble lord, you said just now you felt a trifle bored, and wished instead of dancing, feasting, flirting, your gallant warriors might be exerting their puissance upon some worthier thing. The wish, my lord, was worthy of a king. It pleased me. Here I am, and I intend to serve your fancy as a faithful friend. I bring adventure, no hard, tedious quest, but merely what I call a merry jest. Let some good knight, the doughtiest of you all, swing this my battle-axe, and let it fall on whatsoever part of me he will. I will abide the blow, and hold me still. But let him, just a 12-month from this day, come to me, if by any means he may, and let me, if I live, pay back my best, as he pays me. What think you of the jest?" He said, and made a courteous bow, the while lightening his features with a bright green smile, as when June breezes, after rain clouds pass, ripple in sunlight o'er the unmown grass. The jest seemed fair indeed, but none the less no knight showed any undue forwardness to seize the offer. Some with laughter free daffed it aside, while others carelessly strolled to the farthest corners of the hall, as if they had not heard his words at all, and whistled with an air of idle ease, or studied figures in the tapestries. Not so Sir Gawayne. Vexed in mind he stood with downcast eyes, and knew not what he would. Trained in the school of chivalry to prize his honor as the light of his dear eyes, he held his life, his fortunes, everything, in sacred trust for knighthood and his king. And in the battlefield or tilting yard he met his foe full-fronted, and struck hard. But now it seemed a foolish thing to throw one's whole life to the fortune of a blow. True valor breathes not in the braggart vaunt, true honor takes no shame from idle taunt. So let this wizard, if he wants to, scoff. Why should our hero have his head cut off? While thus Sir Gawayne, wrapped in thought intense, debated honor versus common sense, the stranger knight was casting his green glance around the circle throng, until by chance he met the eyes of Lady Elfinhart. And did she flush? And did the Green Knight start? Surely, a quiver twinkled in each eye. And what of that? It need not signify. Beneath his glance a brave man well might flush. What wonder, then, that a fair maid should blush? And as for him, no man that ever loved could look upon her loveliness unmoved. Could I but picture her, ah, you would deem my tale the figment of a poet's dream. And if you saw her, could such bliss be given, you'ld think yourself in dreamland or in heaven. Not the red rapture of new weakened roses, when morning dew their soul of love uncloses, roses that must be wooed, nor may be won save by the prince of lovers, the warm sun. Not the fair lily, nor the violet shy, whose heart's love lurks deep in her still blue eye, nor any flower, the loveliest and the best, can image to you half the charm compressed in those dear eyes, those lips, nay, every part that made that sum of witcheries, elfin heart. Her face was a dim dream of shadowy light, like misty moonbeams on the fields of night, and in her voice sweet nature's sweetest tunes sang the glad song of 20 cloudless Junes. Her raiment, nay, go, reader, if you please, to some sage treatise on antiquities, whence writers of historical romances cull old embroideries for their new-spun fancies. I care not for the trivial nor the fleeting. Beneath her dress a woman's heart was beating, the rhythm of love's eternal eloquence, and I confess to you in confidence, though flowers have grown 1,000 years above her, unseen, unknown, with all my soul I love her. From these digressions upon love and glory, 'tis time we were returning to our story. I only meant in a few words to tell you, for fear my heroine's conduct should repel you, that if she jests, for instance, out of season, perhaps there is a good substantial reason. Sir Gawayne, had he seen the stranger wink, and seen the lady blushing, you may think, might have been spared a most unhappy lot. Perhaps you're right, but peradventure not. I give you but a hint, for half the art of narrative is holding back a part, and if without reserve I gave my best in the first canto, who would read the rest? But now Sir Gawayne, with a troubled eye, looked up and saw his lady standing by. Quoth he, "And if this conjurer unblest win no acceptance of his bitter jest, how then in after days shall Arthur's court confront the calumny and foul report of idle tongues?" The wrath in Gawayne's eyes hashed for an instant, then in humbler wise he spoke on. "Yet God grant I be not blind, where honor lights the way, for to my mind true honor bids us shun the devil's den, to fight God's battles in the world of men. Who takes this challenge up I doubt will rue it." Quoth Elfinhart, "I'ld like to see you do it." She laughed a gay laugh, but by hard constraint, then turned and hid her face, all pale and faint, as one might be who stabs and turns the knife in the warm heart of one more dear than life. She turned, and Gawayne saw not, but he heard, and felt his heartstrings tighten at her word. "Nay, lady, if you wish it I will try, be your least wish my will, although I die. Yet one thing, if I may, I fain would ask, before I take the venture. If this task prove fateful as it threatens, do you care?" "Perhaps," said Elfinhart, "you do not dare." Lightly she laughed, and scoffing tossed her head, yet spoke as one who knew not what she said, with random words and with quick-taken breath, then turned again, ere that same look of death should steal upon her and betray her heart, despite all stratagems of woman's heart. And Gawayne heard, but saw not, and the night descended on him, and his face grew white with grief and passion. When all else is lost, the brave man gives life to, nor counts the cost. "I dreamt," he murmured to himself, "and dreaming I took for truth what was but sweetest seeming. My waking eyes find naught in life to keep,